real classic hip-hop and R&B.
Yeah. And that's a known fact.
We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up.
We're live from the studios in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Like every day.
It's now time to get this party started.
Come on now.
Check it out, party people. It's the Body Gold.
Sunny T back.
It's Camp Low. Right here, locked down on the Manny and DrChurch show.
Come on now.
Where we talking to?
The Manny and DrChurch show. Yo. This Lil Y.
Sunny Super Geechee Sway, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here on Blazing 98.5 FM. Keep it locked.
The Get Down Brothers.
Yeah.
Ooh, good morning.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
I don't know. You put that label on it, I guess you gotta, wake up a little bit of extra pep in your step.
Yeah.
It's called that false motivation. The Army taught me that.
I like that.
Yeah.
We'll fake that we're awake and happy and excited to be here like that.
Let's do it.
Yeah! It is early. It is Saturday. It's 6:01 in the morning over here out here in Colorado Springs.
I'm going to show you what a mom sent her kid to school in.
Oh, stop it. I'm loving that. That's pretty great.
I'm loving
You
that.
showed me
Nice pun.
That's great.
Nice pun.
It's got a picture of
I'm loving
the McDonald's shirt on saying, I'm loving it.
That's definitely not the McDonald's symbol.
That's not an... those are golden arches,
Those
I
are
guess.
golden arches.
And if you find your way to the middle of them golden arches, my goodness, you going to put that on the internet for us there?
It'll be on our group.
Go to Manny and DrChurch show if you want to know what the heck
On
we're talking
Facebook.
about on Facebook.
It'll be on the group later.
So anyway, this
Train
random
wreck.
things that you're like, boo! I'm just like, whoa, hey. I started going through some of our Facebook stuff last night. You put a link on our Instagram page, which I had never gone through. Clicked on it, and I went, hey, this is funny stuff. Hey, Facebook, I'm missing it all. I'm part of the hashtag delete movement of Facebook. So
That's a thing. I guess.
I never joined up like that, so I guess I got to sign back in.
So you missed the Facebook train altogether.
I guess I just missed it.
Everybody's saying, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, and I'm
you're
finally
like,
I'm going to sign in this week. This
I'll
week
do
I'm going
it.
to do it. And then I
No.
never actually do it. Makes me sad. We plan to, but it never actually goes down that way. This morning we got Damien Damani in our circles, in our midst.
Amongst us.
I'm a fan of
I
that.
was gonna say, well, Facebook got sued $30 million for not giving up somebody's information.
What?
Not giving up information. Yeah.
Who sued him?
It was the government because it was a drug cartel, and they wouldn't give up. It was the WhatsApp, and it's owned by Facebook. So they wouldn't give up the information. So it kind of makes me, a little bit more judgmental on what people really got to say about it. You know what I mean?
I need you on a better mic is what I mean. Get up on it. So
Am I on a better mic?
There you go.
That's
I was
like way better.
Man, I can barely hear you.
Hi, Mike.
I don't know what number that is. Ain't number 9. I'll tell you that. So you're saying that Facebook was getting sued because they own WhatsApp.
Yep.
And they were helping who, you said, allegedly?
They weren't really helping anybody.
Right.
They were just like that bank that the dude who dropped off cocaine with his deposit.
Okay.
And the cop wanted to know who it was, but he said, we can't tell you because it's confidential.
Confidential.
Yeah.
So the cops want to know some stuff going on the WhatsApp, and then they're like,
Yeah.
we ain't giving that up.
That doesn't seem.
That doesn't sound like Facebook, but it was. So.
That sounds like propaganda to me because last I checked, Facebook's and what was it, Instagram?
He
and
got in trouble for selling people's information.
What was it, FBI stood for? It was like Facebook something
Come
and
on
Instagram.
now.
I can't even remember what it was.
I remember when I was a kid what it stood for.
I can't tell me.
Female booty.
Whoa! No, Manny.
The booty inspector.
Not that one. That's a different acronym.
One more. Do you know that Facebook also tells you if you're a liberal or if you are? It already categorizes you
Based on your post histories and stuff.
It has me as very liberal. Who would have thought that? You know what I mean? But if there's a way to look and see what it has you under.
You're pretty liberal.
I know.
I mean, your fly's down.
I got a license to sell hot dogs, bro.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Is that a liberal thing?
I mean, maybe I should sign in at some point into my Facebook. I keep saying I'm going to do it on the air at some point, and then I just never actually do.
We got taquitos and hot dogs all over.
Wow,
the
you
studio.
actually have a hot dog for? He's bringing out a hot dog for real, y'all, and he just waved it around.
Is it
Bare
no.
hands.
Oh no.
That's really
That's not
awkward.
where that goes, man.
Welcome to the Manny and DrChurch show.
Oh.
We're out here this
Awesome.
morning.
The darkness, she's only joining us on Sundays.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We've got Damien Damani coming in the studio for the darkness over here. I need the darkness back. Darkness! Darkness! Help me
Give
out.
us our structure back.
Come on back to Monday and Saturdays.
I knew it. You was telling me this yesterday. Like, you're going to come in with a structured environment. I'm
We're
like, watch me mess
We're
it
going
up
to
right
structure
away.
things up.
Ooh, just shut it
All
down.
right, I'm going to go sell some hot
We do
dogs.
have blue. You're going to go sell those hot dogs?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to
nacho
sell
cheese.
those hot dogs?
Well, are you sure you don't want to buy one?
What is it? North Parkside? Where are we? North Parkside?
Yep.
And what's the other road, though?
Bijou?
Bijou. That's the important one. Bijou, North Parkside.
Man, I'm out there selling
Damian Damani
snowballs if I
from
want
Dirty
to.
Games will be out there
Outside sell hot dog,
selling
used hot dogs.
Used
No, I'm out
cold
there
hot
selling
dogs.
Lightly
snowballs.
used hot
And
dogs and
snowballs.
snowballs.
Yep. You want to know why you want to buy my snowballs?
That's
No,
not
I don't.
weird.
I don't
Tell
want
you
to buy
why.
them.
So I use
Wow.
water. I pack them really good.
Oh, that's
You
nice.
know what I mean? So when you
Turn
hit somebody
ice
with my
balls.
snowballs, they going to feel it.
They going down?
But it's $2 a snowball, though, so
Buy one, get one?
in a snowstorm, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, we
So Damani will be out there on
Radio
the
Shopping
corner.
Show, come get it.
Caller, what's your shopping number?
like
I got Damani
four-
here. I'd
Four
like
snowballs, please.
4 snowballs, 2 hot dogs, please. 2 slightly used hot dogs,
All
please.
right. So, back to radio.
Back to radio. So I got some topics
Thanks,
this morning.
Damian Damani.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
So, Manny, marijuana is legal here in Colorado. It's legal in.
For real?
Yeah, it just started.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can go to the store and buy it. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like freedom.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those people go out and fight for stuff, right? And they're like, yeah, fight for freedom. And then you guys are the only ones that get to keep it, it seems, because in these small little neighborhoods where a lot of military's from Colorado, you guys seem to be free out here.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, many. When I first moved here, okay, I saw a guy get on a motorcycle with no helmet. And then he had a gun strapped on his hip. And he went to the weed store. And he left the weed store. And
I
I
think
said,
you can take your gun into the
you can't go
dispensary.
inside it. No.
Probably locked
You leave
up
it on
in
the
like
side,
a-
probably.
Yeah, just hooked it up, put it in his saddlebag on his...
Well, maybe this
I'm
didn't
assuming
happen,
it was a
but
Harley.
yeah, probably, or an Indian. It seems to be. I've seen those two around here.
Okay. All right.
nice.
Continue your descriptive stories, sir.
But you can do that. It seems. But or let's just say you could have gone to the store and have said legal marijuana in your pocket while you're driving down the road with a gun on your hip and no helmet on.
Yeah.
You can't do that in other
America.
places. America. There's a lot of sad people out there that may be streaming this show that can't do
They
those
can't do
things.
that, right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's local politics. You can vote the whole helmet thing out. They voted it in.
Really?
There was a time in California where you could cruise around without a helmet, and then
They voted it in.
Yeah.
Has anybody voted it out after voting it in?
No, people are lazy.
Okay, because that's my problem. Is I'm like, once these laws come into play, it just stuck.
Well, yeah, you got to count your chicken. I mean, you're lucky you got the participants in the first place. I mean, how many people actually participate in local politics?
And don't get me going down
I mean-
Manny's manifest here.
I'm gonna challenge every listener right now. Look to your left and your right, and do you know anybody involved in local politics? And unfortunately, I know that number's low.
I would agree with that. To where I do know one local, I'll say politician, not from here. The Springs, back from my hometown, and this was one of these kids that was the young Republican growing up.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't smoke weed. I go to church on Sundays. I'm a Republican.
Toe the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna be a governor. And then literally that's all he does is that. And then
He's
you
got
ask
ambitions.
him,
Ambitions.
go for it. That's what he wants.
Swing
his
for
job,
the fences. You know.
Wants his job to be that.
Yeah.
But then when you ask him about like life experience and stuff, or like, how's your math doing? Being that you want to take over our budget,
How's your math?
how's your personal math?
Well, is
Ooh.
he taking over the budget, or is that the Treasury's job?
Well, I mean, when it comes to making decisions in government, it affects our pocketbooks and all that
Absolutely,
stuff.
but that's up to the people.
So if the people become the town councilman or become the local mayor, well, then the people that are bad at math get to just go, well,
We'll figure it out.
Someone else will pay for this later. And next thing you know, there's a lot of people caught up in a lot of
From my
weird
understanding,
tax laws.
there's committees out there. There's teams of people working together to make sure that one person doesn't have to make all those kind of crazy decisions.
Right.
It's more or less just letting you know what the public wants.
But I mean, as we've discussed, Manny, we've said a lot of people in the 80s with this safety movement, just a lot of idiots grew up. They were
true. There was a lot
given
more warning labels added in the 90s, I'd say.
Yeah, all right. So a lot of idiots are, I guess.
It took a little while for the labels to be printed.
Right.
And 90s was just whoosh, everywhere. Stickers galore.
So then you got a lot of foolishness that just grows up.
And then they made it, yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't have made it to adulthood, but I did.
If you were born in 2000, you 18.
Thanks for that helmet. Oh,
You an
ouch.
adult. If you were a Y2K baby, if your parents were like, oh, it's the end of the world, we're going to throw down, and then 9 months later they had a baby, you an adult right now.
Wow, that's really true. Wow. That's disturbing. There's probably a lot of end-of-the-world babies running around right now.
They had all those shake flashlights and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, no batteries.
Right. The little the twisting
The
of the
wind-up,
radio.
yeah.
Wind-up radio. I guess I get what you're saying.
Hand generator.
That generation takes a lot of heat, though. I got to say.
It's gonna.
It does. Yeah, but you know what? I got to stand up for some of them. Because I feel like a lot of people that end up screwing up are really louder than the ones that aren't. Kind of like the drug thing. Where I sit back and I go, hey, drugs aren't legal. And they go, well, look at what it's doing to that guy's life. And I go, yeah, he's a screw up. Look at him. He's a screw up. I don't know what to say. So, yeah, he's howling the weed. The weed's ruining him. Like, no, he's a screw up. How about that? So I see that happening a lot.
I guess I've never seen a real true success story with a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who's high on heroin, yeah, maybe they've done some really cool things, or done something in general, but more or less like there's no real true success story.
Oh, I've seen it. I'm not a heroin guy, but I'm definitely loving the pot. I got a lot of people telling me that the pot's going to end your world. It gives you dead sperm, and your life is just horrible. It's the best way to describe it. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
You want to make this not awkward and just let them know who's in the studio?
Why the conversation just got awkward while everyone's listening? Like, why is this guy rambling?
Well, yeah, because you just kind of dropped things off real quick. I was just trying to give him. All right, Colorado Springs, we got Blue in the studio, our Bitcoin guy.
Blue!
Cha-ching.
We're gonna talk some Bitcoin, Manny.
Am I
Is this
rich?
real?
Am I rich? I invested. Am I rich, Blue?
You're invested.
Depends
You're
when.
rich.
Wait, yeah, it depends when.
When'd you invest?
All right, it doesn't matter. All right, moving on.
He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Talk to me, Blue. Where you been?
Oh man, Blue has been all over the map. Went down.
It looks like you're
south
wearing
of the rock
PTs.
show.
You just get done jogging?
No, I woke up and I was
Rolled out
just
the
dragging
bed.
feet hard. And it's like I look outside. There's a sheet of ice on my car. And at this point, I'm like, man, I need something that I know is going to be warm regardless. And so I pulled out the old trusty PTs.
True story,
Never
man.
let you down. The new silk weights are brown. I'm not too happy about it, but what are you going to do?
So I know this, but you want to share with with Colorado Springs, your vet, military, spent time here at Fort Carson?
Yeah, just a few weeks shy of 5 years down here at Fort Carson. Was 1-9 Infantry, 4th 2ID back before it went to Washington, and I was told that it's back now.
Really?
Yeah, who knows? I'll have to look into it.
Get on Facebook. I've noticed that some of these, my old unit, they've got a Facebook page.
The veterans seem to have Facebook pages, but the units, like...
No, I got an old 329 FA Field Artillery, Facebook social media page, I guess is what you would call it.
I'll definitely have to look into it, man.
You guys are gonna make me sign if we all keep talking about this Facebook stuff all morning. Like, I keep
Facebook-
saying it for
Hashtag
years.
delete Facebook.
Facebook's the
Right.
devil, but you can't beat that free marketing.
True. And everybody likes to sell themselves, right?
I just saw a lot of people with a lot of problems with it, so that's why I was just like, I'm good.
There is a whole lot of drama in it, you know what I mean?
Too many people getting caught with stuff. Like, I mean,
No, you're doing that anyways.
Well, I mean,
You don't need Facebook. There's too many other avenues.
I would agree. But I'm saying when it was first, like, coming around in the earlier 2000s, I remember when it was first, like, a thing.
Right.
I just sat back being like, man, I don't know about all that. Like, hey, I'm going out here. And then all of a sudden they're like, you went there. Why'd you go there? And you're like, ooh, why'd I update that? Didn't know you were looking at my page. And it becomes a whole drama-filled battle. And then he said, she said, and then give an election in it. Whoo! Woo!
Well,
You're not my friend no more.
People have become over-reliant on the social network, you know. It's not something you don't have to fact-check. You don't have to double up on anything anymore. You can just sit back and be told what to think and how to think. You see it every day with arguing points when you're talking to people. You can tell the people who have their own thoughts because it'll, I agree with 90% of this except for this, and then you have the people who are just regurgitating word for word from either their favorite page or Fox or CNN or one of these biased networks.
I read that meme, and you're like, I caught you.
Yeah, and it's like, I invented that meme. You know? So, yeah, it's definitely...
It's the world we live in now. I mean, social media is just going to reproduce this over and over and over again. Don't log in, church.
Did you guys hear about Spotify?
Afraid. No.
Spotify went public, and apparently it's doing amazing. I could pull it up right now.
Spotify.
So you're saying, like, if I go and put stock in Spotify, I might do well?
I mean...
Because they kind of upset me. I was going to look into their podcast, being able to upload this radio show.
I mean,
and so far, I guess they only deal with like Fox and ABC, some of the big wigs.
Oh, I don't mess with any of that. I did it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just logged into Facebook?
I logged in. It says I have 54 notifications. Woo. Okay.
There's some people that are out there that get that in like an afternoon.
That's what I mean. I'm not popular.
Yeah.
That's what's funny about that.
I post one meme to make one person mad, and I get more responses than that.
Yeah, like I don't do any of this. That's what I mean. But that's the funny part. Anybody that knows me and knows my life is sitting there like, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And I don't, cause like I don't. I guess it makes sense if you live far away and you need to contact people. But I'm a phone guy. I'm like, call me. I'll talk to you.
You just want to talk to them over the phone.
Talk to me.
Oh, yeah. People don't do that anymore. Yeah, Spotify stock sitting at $147.92 right now. Yesterday it was at like 130 something when I checked it.
So what kind of jump was that?
A nice one.
Stability after first week. I mean, I don't know. At this point,
it went
the
up.
Money's flowing.
We're gonna put it that way.
The money's flowing. Up. Cryptos are starting to kind of stabilize a little bit. Bitcoin's around $68.95 right now, depending on which platform you're using. Ethereum's been between $300 and $400. Let's go ahead and pull up the entire chart. Ethereum's at $381, Litecoin's at $117, Bitcoin Cash is at $630. We had massive declines this week, but the very next day gained it all back right to where it was, and it's been pretty stable for the last 2 weeks at this point.
Have you been comparing its history now to what it has been doing over the past couple of years?
There you go.
To see if
yes.
That's all I'm waiting to say.
Yes.
Another calm patch.
I'm in pretty much every single time I find a cryptocurrency group on a cryptocurrency that I trade, I try and join it. Actually, one of the funny things is these cryptocurrency groups think that they're just the boss hog when it comes to the admins. So they always have like these 3 questions that they have to ask, like, do you promise not to post links for sales, and do you promise not to be vulgar and stuff like that, which the vulgar ones I totally understand with, but they always say it's these 3 questions, and it's never even in the form of a question. But yeah, anyway, I always try to keep up with it. One of the biggest things I find over these modern slight declines since the December started was that the people who invested in things like Tron and Verge and the
wasn't there like 1,500 or 3,000 different kind of coins? I mean, did they all drop off? Did they burn up? Is it?
No, a lot of these are still going, except for the more scam coins, which kind of show themselves out if you read the white papers.
Has the number dropped below 1,000? Are we still over 1,000 different cryptocurrencies?
Oh yeah, I think it was at like 1,400, but the last time I checked, the last confirmed was like 1,380. So the people who couldn't afford the $10 coins or the $100 coins invested in like the 5-cent coins, and a lot of those have been more stable since the drop. So yeah, it's actually, there's been rays of sunshine in this. There's plenty of money still being made.
See, I'm less of a day trader, I guess, if you will.
Right, and that's what I'm hearing him describe is the day trader style, you know, the ups and the downs, and it's going to happen, but you don't want to focus too much on the now. You know, look at what it's done in the past, kind of just put it on autopilot, and then maybe see what, you know, wait for the next big information bubble.
There you go. So I'm taking this conversation for a moment. So, information bubbles. Manny talks about this a lot, and I've been sitting here waving this Bitcoin flag since forever, for a minute, since the beginning of time of Bitcoin, if you will. I've been in it for a long time, and I've heard a lot about, Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's dead. Even when I met you, Blue, it was like, Bitcoin's dead. A lot of people, Bitcoin dead. Bitcoin's died, I can't tell you how many times. At this point, it's gotten to a point where it's just, you know, I'm tired of explaining it. But at the same time, I go, you know what, Manny? It's the right thing to do because a lot of people still don't know what this is. All they keep hearing is that it's dead. And then when the next information bubble comes up, they're sitting without knowledge going, well, why didn't I jump in on that? And had they been listening to the Manny and DrChurch show, they would have a possible clue as to what the heck is going on. To where, yes, it is sitting at $6,800. And yes, it was at $19,000 in December. Ouch.
That's pretty insane.
Ouch. Right?
Right.
But then if you look at it in April/March of last year, 2017, it was at $1,200. So if last year you bought a Bitcoin for $1,200 when everybody said,
that's crazy. It's
insane.
Dead. Yeah.
It was at $200 not long ago. And you're like, well, I mean,
yeah, watching it.
It was actually, it was at 400 that year before. So, all right, but now I'm at 12. So, okay, all right, I got you to crash. But then it's done the same thing. So it went from 19 to 6, right? Now just look at it on a yearly thing.
So far, it hasn't been a loss for more than 2 years. Like it's not. It's
So the information bubble, though, I just sit back. Do you remember Coney 2012?
Coney.
Remember Kony? It was this guy ran around and he was like, I had a daughter, I have a child, and he made this video and it went viral on YouTube and everybody's like, he's like, I have a daughter, I'm a new dad, and I realized
nothing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, there was a while ago, it was almost like the Y2K, but it was very viral, and there was a video that went around of Coney 2012, and it was a little mini documentary about how this guy is murdering children and using child soldiers in Africa and such.
That's some real stuff.
Right. Went viral. Everybody's like, we need to stop this guy, Coney 2012. And everybody, do you remember Save Our Girls? Remember that one? That's another one.
The village, all the women were
came
rounded
in,
up.
Boko Haram came in and took all the schoolgirls, right?
Yeah.
Forgot about them, right?
What happened?
I don't know. A bunch of them came out. Some of them were found years later. But other than that, we just forgot. Information bubble came around, is what I'm pointing out. Mm-hmm. And so these bubbles...
And then people get tired of hearing about it, and then the information no longer is received, and...
Facebook.
They
look like the...
Well, the
Twitter.
Look at the YouTube shooter.
We go next.
YouTube shooter, that was popular for about 24 hours before...
here's the deal. Quit
down.
glorifying these shooters. That's my stance on it, is if... Don't give them the recognition. If anything, give the people who lost their lives, the armed forces, the selfless service people out there. Don't give the shooter the.
But
the
same
glory.
thing as you're pointing out, shooters, information bubbles. Every once in a while, it's like gun rights. Oh my gosh! And then it dies down. Everybody calms down, relaxes, wait a little while.
3 days.
Information bubble.
Same thing with politicians. Same thing with cops.
So
give somebody 3 days listening to your stuff.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again until they're like, yo, I'm done listening to you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then you have to move on to a new topic. Because otherwise you ain't relevant anymore.
Our attention span seems to be small, I guess.
But that small attention span is why they're able to do chip away laws where they don't have to take away something from you. They don't have to ban a business's ability to advertise on their own building outside. They can make it finable at this point, or it could make it to where it can only be this high, or it has to be this high off the ground to where people can't mess with it, so it can't be torn. And that little lobbying here
There's
and a
so
little
many different
lobbying
laws
there,
and little rules that are
you
created.
can, little lobbying here and little lobbying there. In Southern Illinois, there's actually small towns where places like McDonald's and Burger King have lobbied to where you have to have one of those next to the interstate signs to be able to advertise outside your building. To where you actually have it to where the guy who's just setting up the gas station that sells the cigarette signs outside, or the Coors Light sign outside of its building, is actually breaking the law. It's one of those laws that aren't really enforced, but it's a law
prohibited.
nonetheless.
We talked about dumb laws a couple weeks ago.
We did. But information bubbles. That's what I was going to do.
They come
so
and
the
go.
information bubble comes and goes, which leads to the Bitcoin thing. The bubbles, they come, they go. The information comes and goes. But every single day, there's a guy that gets up every single morning and puts on his pants, sometimes, but gets dressed up.
Pants are for the weak.
And they go to work every morning. And these people have invented these products, these cryptocurrencies, these new inventions, if you will. And every day they're out there selling their invention, preaching about their invention every day. And they don't stop. And every once in a while, there's a bubble. And the bubble comes in, and then they sit back going, see, I told you. And then it goes away. And they still, when it goes away, get up every day and go do their job. To where the Winklevoss twins, the people who helped invade Facebook allegedly.
Say that name again, please.
The Winklevoss twins. Winklevoss. These two guys
the
allegedly.
Professional complainers.
Are these DC characters? Or
No.
Marvel?
So these
Marvel
are the guys,
characters?
if you saw the Facebook movie, the guys that allegedly
I
invented
did not
Facebook.
watch the Facebook movie.
Well, allegedly, they say Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea and just went on and made Facebook.
I've heard of that.
They
Heard
all-
rumor that Mark didn't actually, it's not his golden baby child.
Right. So they all sued each other, but those
That's
two
fun.
guys are very much into Bitcoin, and they get up every morning and they go to work every day. And they own more than one company that's involved in Bitcoin. And there's a bunch of other cryptocurrencies, all the Ether guys, McAfee, all these different currencies have people behind them that go to work every day going, this is what makes sense next. And it's all the same people that were making your Yahoo, your Google, all this other stuff that's now on your phone that you use every single day that you made fun of, all these nerds. They go to work every day. And so they're going to work every day. And so these cryptos, you may think they're going to go nowhere, but we are very much headed towards a cashless society, whether you want to accept it or not. It's just the truth about it. So
The
it
whole
becomes
pay with your phone features, the plastic debit cards.
It's been
there's-
solid in Tokyo for years. Most teenagers back when we were still in high school in Tokyo had quit. Tokyo, Japan had quit carrying credit cards and stuff. They just have the touch, the stuff that Visa and MasterCard are just now. Hey, look what Hannibal can do on a commercial for a sub. Now in Tokyo, these kids are over here making fun of us because they were like, we've never.
We've
not
been
had
doing
that.
that.
Yeah, we've had a cashless minute for no problem. To where this week, I've used my McDonald's app and I didn't talk to anybody. I walked in the door and talked to nobody. I walked in, I sat down. I looked up at the screen and said, your order 1644 is being prepared. And then all of a sudden somebody went, 1644? I didn't even have to check in. Like, I just walked into McDonald's and I just sat down. Stared at my phone like everybody else was doing.
Right,
Communicated
right.
with nobody. and then
Einstein would be so proud.
Boom.
then you
Cashless
just-
exchange.
And you just grabbed the food and left.
And I walked away.
Well, I mean, and it's not just cryptocurrencies that are making this available. You have
Hold
apps
on.
like
I want to address something real quick. What if somebody just got up and grabbed your food? It sounds like that's possible.
I mean, you
Is
pull
that-
up.
Do that at McDonald's is just wait for somebody's number to be called and just walk up there and take the food?
When they don't pay attention, yes.
do people
Is that
not
a McDonald's employee standard? I don't
do
know.
they not don't people already do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just had the thought.
No,
Somebody
I mean,
today's like, I'm going to do that.
It's where you can prove, like, hey, look, here's my number on my phone.
So did you have to show them that you purchased it on your phone in order to take it off the counter? Is my question. Or did you just say, hey, that's my number, thanks, I'm out?
I don't
Walked
think
away.
the minimum
That's it,
wage
my friend.
McDonald's
Oh, come on,
employee really
McDonald's.
cares enough to check it.
Oh, man.
Well, and that's
All
a
right.
problem.
That is.
All right.
That leads us to our next discussion
Well,
that we'll
let's-
get to
well,
next.
Hold on. I had a
What do you
point to
got?
make on
A
that.
Bitcoin point?
Cryptocurrencies aren't the only thing that are making it versatile to send money back and forth. You have money transfer apps like Venmo that are pretty much turning around, and so if I was to go to Europe, the only way I would be able to use currency in Europe was to take my U.S. dollars and either buy international cashier checks, or when I got to Europe, exchange my U.S. currency
you'd have to
at
exchange
the
it.
bank for British pounds,
Right.
or what, or just leave it on my debit card and swipe my card. With things like Venmo, you're able to bypass all the international transfer fees by doing it with that. And essentially, since you're not doing it bank account to bank account, it's not actually leaving the country until you're spending the money. So it's an intercompany transfer. And so, yeah, it's
Interesting.
It's nuts, but Venmo is awesome. You ever been out late night and be like passing a pizza, leaving a concert, and you go and you're getting a slice and you're like, oh man, I don't have any cash on me right now, and your homie pays you back, and sometimes you're like, oh man, the next couple days later, like, I forgot to pay him back. You can just Venmo him right there. You don't need his bank account information.
Right.
You don't need his personal. You don't need his social
So
security
then what's
number.
required to be able to send this? Is this
So
just
pretty much you hook up your account and you hook up like either an account or a debit card to it. You don't have to. You can
So
just
you're
leave it
giving
in your
this strange
Venmo.
company your bank account information and saying, hey, I trust you to send this money to somebody else.
More just the same type of verification you would do on PayPal or Stripe. Like you and your wife have bought T-shirts from Ripped Apparel.
All right,
What, you just give the-
PT.com,
you
Ripped
just-
Apparel.
Yeah,
I will shout them out every day.
So
No, I won't,
you just
but
give the
I like
internet
them.
your number? You just give the internet.
No, I
your
get
cards?
that. I get that. I mean, yeah, you give out your information at your own risk, always.
Let's be honest, your
Invest
information's
at your
already
own
out
risk.
there.
Yeah, true. But nobody wants my bad credit. All right,
No.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and DrChurch show. We've got Blue in the studio.
What up?
We're going to get Darkness in tomorrow. And we're going to get some music. What kind of music? You got some
I got
alternative
high,
poker?
and I know what girls like. I got some good stuff, but when we come back, let's hit this topic of the people at McDonald's screaming, or do you think they're going to care, if you will? Where you're
Do
like, you think they're
McDonald's
going to care?
employees care?
That's what he says. He's like, do you think they're going to care? So let's go into that when we get back.
Colorado Springs, keep it locked. It's blazing. 98.5, Dirty Game Studio.
Toothpaste slows balding when you swallow it.
I think you need to see a new doctor.
I don't know if that's true. Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch show. We've got Blue in the studio.
What up?
How's my radio voice?
You've polished it pretty well.
Good morning.
It's gargling all that peanut butter.
Yeah. It works. You just have to thin it out
Yeah,
with salsa.
gross.
Yeah, you put salsa in it, you mix up the jar, you know what I mean? It
I
thins
mean,
out the peanut butter. We're not supposed to be talking about these tricks on the air.
Technically, peanut butter is salsa.
This is Illuminati talk, guys. Thank you. Not supposed to talk about
Man,
this on the air.
salsa just means sauce.
Anyway, we were discussing Bitcoin with Blue earlier, and as you said earlier, I was saying how I went into McDonald's. I didn't use any money. I just walked in, I sat down, used the app, no cash exchange, got my food. And you said, Manny said, can you just walk away, right?
Yeah.
Like, could you just...
I mean, because that's essentially what you described, was that you didn't have to talk to nobody. You sat down, they called out your number, you just got up, grabbed your food, and went about your day. No interactions, no human contact, this, that, and the other. Like, so what stops somebody from just getting up and grabbing anybody's
just
number?
running off.
Yeah.
Well, you got proof on your phone, but then Blue
Yeah,
said
but they didn't even stop you.
the people wouldn't care.
The
I
employees.
said they may not.
They may not. Do you think the people that make minimum wage at McDonald's care or not? And what I wanted to say about that is that
Should
I
we
was
give out the phone number to call the studios to see if an employee of McDonald's wants to
Call
inform
in,
us and let us
be
know
like-
if they care?
Yeah, I don't care. You're right. I'm playing hockey out here with your burgers. Now, I think that it's I was out here spreading Manny's message, if you will, aka Nintendo Jesus, who owns Warp Zone Gaming, who's sitting here in our studio.
So what are you?
And what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that there's people out there that make minimum wage, right?
No.
It's crazy. It's crazy idea. And there's people out there that start out and they're like, I don't care. They are theying me. It's not my fault. And they don't care about their job. They take no ownership. None. And they don't want to participate. They don't want to show up. And they don't want to do their job. And they're angry about it. Right? Now,
Yeah.
Okay, right.
maybe take an attitude shift. Maybe change the concept of what you're doing, maybe. Maybe take ownership. Maybe care. Maybe care. And then
You're
guess what?
talking about the person who's going to go in there and change out the trash and clean out the toilets and stuff like that. You're telling that person to walk in the building like as if they own it?
Yeah. Sounds crazy, right?
That's hard to do, man.
Agreed.
That's hard to do for people.
Agreed. I just came into a place, started working not long ago, and I started at the bottom. And I have very much showed up. I have participated. I have had a proper attitude and gone, you know what? It's a menial task.
Did you wear revealing clothes to ascend the ladder?
That is none of your business, Manny.
You didn't,
You're not
provoke
supposed to
them,
bring that up on the air.
get a little provocative.
My zipper shoes are nobody's business.
They're pretty fancy.
Sorry for yelling. Anyway, that's the idea there. Is my.
You just got scolded by the producer.
He said I was yelling too much. I got excited. It's not my fault.
I'm just saying, you
kinda
can't
his
do that.
I can't help it.
All right. Can you get us back on track?
I'm trying to come back on track. I just
Come on.
can't do too hard. Anyway,
Put your blinker on.
there's people that don't participate is what I'm saying.
You're
And
right.
I'm saying even if you're on the bottom, if you participate, someone will take notice.
You just have to show up every day for the time that you're supposed to be there. Maybe even a little bit early, and then leave a little bit late.
But have some pride. Like,
Okay, so real quick, when I made this comment, I'm not saying that the 30% of the country that's on minimum wage doesn't care about their job.
and I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that for a multi-billion-dollar corporation like McDonald's, they are not
It's
going to send.
rumored-
Hold
it's
on, they're
rumored
not
50
gonna,
miles in
they're
any
not
direction there's a
going,
McDonald's.
They're not going to send their employee, especially potentially in prime time, out the door when they probably already have the exact same order sitting in back, waiting to be thrown into a bag. They're not going to care to chase someone out the place over a 99-cent burger that cost their company probably 40 cents, 50 cents to make. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
And I'm pretty sure most places now have policies about their employees are not allowed to chase
Don't
someone
go chase
outside
them.
of the store.
Okay. Now, what I was talking about, like I said, that the main thing I'm trying to get to is the idea that some people care about their job and some people don't. And we've all been to that
Absolutely.
McDonald's. We've all gotten that McDonald's where you've gotten that burger and been like, man, you missed the burger on the cheese. How do you miss the cheese on the burger? Like the cheese was to the side, and then the burger's over here to the
They
inches to the
missed.
left, and then how? Someone just didn't even care, or maybe they were going as fast as they could. Maybe that's as best as they could.
What about your boy that made all that money? What was he selling?
Why
What about your
you-
boy that was over there selling the
Who made stuff?
Oh, Slacker, right?
Stacker.
Stacker. Now he didn't seem like he cared about his job, right? That's a high end company where
Well,
you
now
make a
you
lot of
bring
money.
Colorado Springs into an old story.
We're talking about an old show to where, what do you
No,
mean, the
I'm
Stacker
just
guy?
saying, you could have a really good paying job and still not care about your job.
Exactly, and then you can lose it. That is very
Yeah.
true. Luck
Yeah.
comes around.
True.
Luck comes around, and a lot of people get excited and don't care, lose that opportunity, and then the money's gone and go, oh, shoot. To where that guy right now that I was talking about, my former roommate once upon a time, shout out Jeff, Lord knows where that guy is, made a lot of money really quick, and then it's gone. And some people don't realize it's quick. It comes. Save. Invest. Blue out here. Invest. He's telling people, invest. Throw some money into something. He was telling us all different kinds of coins last time he was here to invest in. And guess what? Some of them go up, some of them go down. Look at a long-term thing and watch what happens. Just
Absolutely.
Watch what happens.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say on that. But again, what I was saying is I've seen a lot of people not care about their job. And it's down to where just the lowliest people not caring about, I don't give a whatever. And then they get mad at the world and why? Why? And it's like maybe your attitude might be bringing some of it on yourself. Maybe. I might be wrong. And maybe like...
I would agree that attitude is everything, but I mean, you you do have to saddle up and go to work. You know, you got to go. No, but then you still got to deal with life. You know what I mean? You still got to deal with whether it's your wife or your husband or your mom's, your children, whatever it be. You still got to deal with that full-time job.
You know what, though,
doesn't quit.
Manny?
It's 7 days, 365. You don't get paid extra for it. It's called life.
You know,
and you got to deal with that. And then you got to show up to some dude's establishment who's making a buttload of money, and you're there scraping pennies off the floor because that's what he's giving you. You know, and at what point do you want to take pride in that? You know, so it's hard.
I would agree. Very hard.
Manny,
it's doable.
You know what a good attitude to get you? Everything.
I agree with him.
All right.
Agree with him.
What if
Come
it's
on.
the person's third job and it's like their third shift, they're on the job, and you're thinking, well, this person doesn't care about their job, but they're really tired from working 3 freaking jobs a day.
And so
They're already holding 3
that's
jobs.
where most people that have those situations, they talk about that. So when you're at your current job, the person has 3 jobs, guess what they're talking about? Where they're headed next? Their next job.
Their next
you know, you
job.
talking about Netflix. Guess what? I saw Netflix. You know what they talking about? Going to work. You know what you talking about? Insomnia. You know what they talking about? Going to work. And I wish that was a joke.
No.
But I've watched, there was a guy named Brendan that I saw taking ownership in his job, and he was doing exactly what you said. There's owners at the top making lots of money. This guy's coming in for barely dollars an hour. And he
Right.
came in and he shut his mouth going, I don't care. This is my lot in life. I'm going to get this done. You know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to go to my other job. You know what I'm going to do after that? Go back to my other job. When I'm done with that, I'm going to take a 20-minute nap. I'm going to sit around and figure it out. Come on back to this one. And then everyone else is like, man, I couldn't sleep last night. And he's like, yeah, come roll with my world just one time. 1 week.
The only thing
I will
that
cure your insomnia like snaps, he said. It was just,
Right.
it was a beautiful thing.
people
And I said,
worrying about sleep.
I was
Work-
like, that's hard to argue with, my man. I said, you know what? You're probably right. He goes, yeah, dude, I fall asleep when I can, as I can, because I need to. Everybody else, oh, I can't. Yeah, you can't sleep. You out there just relaxed. He said, again.
I get it. No, I get that concept 100%.
He participated was a thing I always had to point to. It was just like, man, he really doing his thing. He participated. You know, it's the beauty of it all.
Hey, let's get into some music real quick.
Let's get hits from the bomb.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and DrChurch show. We got Blue in the studio. We'll be back. It's Blazing 98.5.
Woo, we'll start a new hour too. I love that. Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch show. We've been talking about whether or not George Bush is ticklish. We've got Blue in the studio.
He's got his PT belt on.
Blue, your thoughts? Ticklish? Not ticklish?
Any man that paints that well is a ticklish man.
All right.
I would agree.
Why are we at war? Anybody?
I don't
Comments,
know.
questions,
15 years,
concerns?
15 years? I don't know.
No comments. All right, cool. Moving
And the
on.
Manny and DrChurch show on Facebook.
Right. And on
Group.
Instagram. And we're going to talk about some of this stuff maybe on the internet
Maybe.
or not.
I don't do well with keyboard warriors,
You're right.
so I don't know.
I just want to know why we're at it, and I bring it up every week now for like 2-3 weeks, I guess, in a row.
Blue says it's because of Disney. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. He didn't
Do
say
not
that.
Disney.
He didn't
I'm
say
a
that.
long time fan. Please don't sue
He's
me.
like, it was the Lion King. I know that's why. Aladdin wasn't made for no reason. You know what I mean? Middle
Alright.
East. You know, middle of the '90s. Yeah, all
There's
right.
ties, man. There's ties.
That's beautiful. Hey, you hear that side?
Don't
Colorado
even
Springs?
say it, man.
He's thinking about them twins. DrChurch is having twins.
These-
A boy and a girl.
Wow,
Blue didn't know.
congratulations.
Blue didn't know.
Yeah.
Now he knows.
Not funny jokes,
for
y'all.
Your cars are going to have to
no.
change.
You're going to have to get like 2 more spaces in your driveway.
Listen, I am gonna change the cars. I told you I'm buying 1996
Station wagon.
stretched
No.
Lincoln Town car.
Do you got to get a bigger house?
I win.
You're going to get a limo.
Yeah, stretched limo, an old school one, like a 96. Get like a 96
Nah,
Lincoln.
You're doing it wrong. You got to get one of them old steel like 85 station wagons.
Yeah. Definitely.
Those things
Luggage
are like
rack.
armored and penetrable, bro. Get the Chevy Chase
metal.
and just cruise, bro.
You remember the Hendersons, Harry and the Hendersons?
Yes.
Yeah.
That station wagon.
Yes.
You need that.
with the wood panel on the side.
Absolutely.
Nah, he needs the National Lampoon
Wow.
station
We know
wagon.
some graphic people. We can get some flames on that thing. That'll add like 2 horse.
It's sad. Why are we joking about the sadness of my life?
Because you're gonna have twins.
I'm not. You hear that? That's dead air. I'm not
that was
laughing.
that was the emptiness of your soul. just leaving. Just,
That was hearing his
so
hopes.
lonely.
That was hearing his hopes
So
and dreams hit the
lonely.
floor.
That's not right. Anyway, I want to try some stupidness. What do you think? Should I do McDonald's
You can
on this
do-
thing with Blue? Should I try it with Blue? And just say that everybody has this go down?
Go for it.
All right, Blue, I'm going to have you spell something. Or
I'm
I'll have
not
you
good
say
at spelling.
something.
I'm 13 Bravo Field Artillery.
Some people spell something. Not really, but whatever. Say the word after I spell it. McDonalds. All right, MC, and then DONALDS. What does that spell?
McDonald's.
All right, and then MAC, and then DOUGALS. MAC, and then DOUGALS.
G-A-L.
Is it
McDouglas?
McDougal's.
McDougal's.
Those mouth.
Doodles? Yeah.
Next one is MAC, and then HINE.
McHiney.
It worked.
What?
It's everyone.
It
It's
worked.
not just Blue.
It's science.
Can you read that
McHiney?
word? MACHINE for me. What does that spell?
Machine.
Machine.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
It
It
tricks
hurts your
brain.
body. I've done it to a bunch of people. I've heard it from other shows and other things before and other places.
I go to Scottish festivals, so
It messes
like,
me up.
like my last name's McClintock, so you start spelling mix and
Mac and
Max,
Max,
and
you're
I'm,
like,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm over here trying to remember how you spelled it, thinking if I know the guy. Yeah.
It's everyone. So this
I'm
is
breaking beer
something
with that guy.
you can do this to everybody at the end of the day, it seems. Where it's just, I
That's
got
wild.
caught up with it immediately, just going, oh. It's kind of like
they,
one of those
they
little.
make them spell McDonald's, McDougal, and then machine.
Yeah. And you
they
focus
end up-
on the MC part and just make sure you split it up a little.
Okay.
And you definitely just, you get
And-
caught up. And it's not your fault. It's kind of like the what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of bricks? And you're like,
Oh, man, probably that
pound of
brick.
brick.
That
Definitely
That'd probably
brick.
be
Yeah,
really
yeah,
heavy.
yeah.
You know-
Density, not weight. Yeah.
it's one of them. And then everybody gets caught up. And
Man, you made me sound stupid,
what
fool.
do cows drink? Milk. Or say silk, silk, silk. And then
Right.
what do cows drink? And then milk.
Yeah.
Or the ghost
No, I'm pretty
ro-
sure they just drink water.
Right.
Or the ghost roast toast one, but it's bread. What do you put in a toaster? And it's bread. Not
See?
toast, yeah.
That's the fun of our brains making weird connections, which is strange.
I'm sure there's a name for that in German.
Do you know any
Probably.
riddles, Church?
Probably a racist name in German.
Wait,
Everything
what?
that comes
Where
out
you
of
going?
German,
Where are you going with this conversation?
it just sounds so hard. It's always Stochstangs and Snines.
It's a
and
beautiful
Schnitzel.
language.
Whoa. It's a hard language, bro. I like it. It's almost like,
It's gangster.
woo.
I
It's
don't know.
intense. My dad worked in
Speaks
Germany for a couple years, or for a couple months, and he had to learn. He had the books on tape back. That's right, cassette. That's right,
He
cassette.
says cassette tape.
And we had the books on tape, or the learn the language on tape, if you will, back before you watched
Rosetta
it.
Stone
Yeah,
came out and was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to solve this.
Yeah.
My brother Frank was stationed in Baumholder, and he didn't for like 2 years, and he didn't pick up a lick of German,
Not a
but
thing.
he picked up
Picked
a bunch
up a
of
lot
beer.
of beer. Drank a lot.
His whole unit did.
Yeah, it's a military thing.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't know. Of which both you military gentlemen here, I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you
you're
for-
welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for your freedom, Church.
Thanks
Thanks for
your
your
support.
service.
Laying it on real thick.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. As I said, I appreciate the heck out of the vets, and I keep seeing what's happening. To where I've never been in a vet community, as I said, as I've been so deep now, where
Good news. The
You
VA.
got good news for vets?
The good news for vets. The VA has now said it does not matter what your percentage is, or if you were how much you were exposed to combat. If you touched a war zone at all, you are viable for treatment now.
hey,
So
Really?
it's no more percentages, this, that, and the other. At least for mental health, look into the physical
That's
and
cool.
whatnot. But as far as therapy for PTSD, mental
Hey,
health
closed
goes,
mouths don't get fed. Get out there and ask.
definitely check it out. If you guys know a veteran out there who needs help or
Ask
isn't
for 'em.
quite right, reach out,
Agreed.
talk to your buddy. Let these guys know that there's help available to them. I'm still finding Vietnam guys who don't know they have Agent Orange exposure money owed to them.
Hanging out, waiting for them.
It's been how many years, how many decades? So definitely, if you see your buddy hurting, help your buddy. We're only gonna get through this.
Vets
together.
helping vets.
Yeah,
I think that's an organization. I need to look into that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm big on that because, as I said, I've never lived in a vet community. And now that I would say I very much live in a community where, like, every other neighbor near me is a veteran / active military, to where I live just outside Fort Carson. At 5 a.m. back when we were doing our morning show, when you'd be like, how is there... It's 4:45 in the morning. There is rush hour traffic.
Oh, yeah.
How is this possible? And they're sitting
Good
in a
times.
line. Yeah, there's people going to work. It's these military
Absolutely.
guys grinding away.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the hell out of you guys.
Some of them not leaving the motor pool until 1800. You know what I mean? They work hard, man.
It's a crazy grind, and I appreciate you guys like crazy. But
We
I
party
sit
hard,
back
too,
and I'm
though.
like,
We party
why?
hard.
Why
you
does it get
showing
so
us, Blue? What do you
crazy
got?
to where it's we end up in the war zones, if you will, and then when everyone gets out, or even in the middle of it, it's like we don't pay attention to the people that are actually going there, if that makes sense. Or maybe it does, it doesn't. But from as an outsider's opinion, looking at it, I've seen families where people are being sent all over the world because some guy in a suit said, "Go over here and kill that guy." For whatever reason they've decided, so they have to now. The family goes, and then you're away from each other for like a year.
Believe it or not,
It makes me mad.
Believe it or not, there are many more people who are deployed internationally just to help trade move and help reaffirm our allies' position than there is being sent to war zone. We have a couple hundred bases worldwide, but we only have like a little over 100 or about 100 domestically, and it's the domestic ones that are deploying. All the ones that are, those are embassies, those are dignitary points. Those people are stationed there. They live there for years at a time.
Right.
So like when you go to Korea, I've heard that you can bring your family now, but when I was in, you couldn't take your family to Korea, and that was at like a 1.5 to 2 year duty deployment.
See, I had cousins that just married there, to where I have two cousins that were in Korea. One of them's moving back. I just found out recently. I haven't seen him in years. Thank you, Joey. Not that any of them are listening, but I mean, again, I've seen the families and what goes down. It's heartbreaking, man.
So,
it's tough for me. And then after,
my heart's gonna go out to these new soldiers that are getting ready to gear up for this new deployment. I guess Trump's, sent out the word.
You know
It's coming. What is this?
You
Blue?
know what? We still got people in, and I got a friend in. She's a nurse. She's amazing at her job, and we give these younger guys a lot of stuff about back in our day and how we did it. But when it push comes to stuff, these boys are putting in the hours. These girls are putting in the hours. They're getting the work
I'm
done.
talking
and they're
about the
holding
guys
standard.
that Trump just sent a bunch of dudes to the Mexico border.
Yeah, that's the Texas National Guard.
It
But
happens.
I'm pretty sure Texas sends the Texas National Guard to the border to do training too. So
Right.
I don't think this is overly out of the ordinary, though. They have been.
They're gonna go
talking
hang
about
out,
it.
maybe have a couple of drinks.
I'm not happy about this because
Sleep
they're hitting
outside.
the wrong border. I've been screaming about that for a minute.
Right.
Justin
Worried
Bieber, Drake. Canada has been infiltrating our borders and our music scene for way too long. I am not happy with what's going on.
Michael
okay?
J. Fox,
We are obviously
come
at
down
war.
here.
Okay, they
Make
come
it
down
big.
here. All these Canadians. Okay, they make their money, having a good time.
Stay in your own yard.
Talk all they want to talk. It's too much for me. I'm sorry. And then we out here going for the Mexicans. Build a wall, they dig the tunnels. Why would
Build
what?
the wall, they dig the tunnel.
I don't get it. We're hitting the wrong. Go up north. We got to get them too. I'm getting
You
too
good? Wow, man.
upset at all this stuff
You're
going
gonna
on.
Bring
hitting
down the
stuff.
studio. He's hitting walls and stuff.
This topic's just getting
Well,
to be too
I
much for me,
kind of wondered.
possibly.
There's a town
Set it down.
down where the Mexicans and the Americans, the wall is like just about breast height, and they have, it's called the Festiva by Nacional. I don't speak. Pardon me, I don't speak Spanish.
What?
But it's where they play volleyball over the border. And Mexico and America, I pulled it
What's
up.
the score?
Apparently they play it all the time. But they call it Wallyball instead of volleyball. I don't know.
I've been hearing a lot of weird stuff about Mexico, if you will, previous. Where I didn't know this. There's a heavy population community of Mormons in Mexico, which I didn't know that. And they're at war with the cartels. Like, it was a big, scene.
Really?
Yeah. I was just,
Why?
so I love Vice. You watch a lot of Vice ever?
Yeah, I watch enough.
Yeah.
So if you look into history of Vice and stuff, there's the guy that started it. That's a murky past. But one
Maybe
of the
they should
guys,
do a Vice episode on that.
No, there's a lot of a lot of people couldn't talk about a lot because a lot left.
Well, yeah, they
lawyers.
just put the face covered, the change the voice, and
They definitely would have to do a lot because there was a lot of money exchanged with a lot of suing going down with the people that started Vice versus the
Why
people
can't
that
we all
run
just
Vice.
get along, man?
I don't know, weird. But the guy
Money.
Shane, I was watching Shane.
Blues like money. Money ruins everything.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, it makes things definitely weird.
And
I
sometimes
just
it
want to
makes it
have
better.
enough money to go camping when I want. Like, I think I'd settle for that.
I want to have enough money to where I can have just enough property and be stable to where I don't have to go camping. I can just go out to the other end of my property and to my little shack and be a hermit.
He's gonna whittle wood.
I don't whittle too well. If my
Man, yeah,
thumb
what
has
happened to your
anything.
thumb, man? It looks like you tried to cut it off.
So I was cutting sheet silver out and setting it into a huge oak walking staff.
By the way, shout out Wandering Boot Art.
I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys need any custom pieces or have some stones from a nice hike or whatever, contact
I got some
Wandering Boot
stones.
Art. And,
Wait.
not those kind of stones. Although I did get asked to wrap a kidney stone the other day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, custom jewelry's,
I can relate.
Yeah, you got custom, and then there's custom.
I just wrapped it was in my buddy's mom's elbow for a year, but it was the titanium alloy surgical plate that held her
Okay.
elbow together with the screws in it.
Oh, wow.
So it turns out the screws make perfect faceting points.
Great, wow.
Yeah.
So Wandering Boot, custom wire wrap jewelry, and some crazy stories, man. Kidney stone.
So back to the Mormons and the Texans, because we keep going a lot of lefts and rights.
Yeah, we
to where I'm trying to stay on the.
You
the
told me
focus.
earlier we didn't have enough plugs.
Well, you asked me
We ain't
questions.
plugging nothing. We
Everybody's
just
asking
talking.
me straightforward.
Yeah,
so.
and you just want to talk all day.
No, it's just going
You just
into our
want to
topic.
talk.
And you asked me a question, and then
See?
everybody
Listen,
went.
Colorado Springs, he's talking again.
Sorry, talk show. It's the
Talk.
Manny and
Talk,
Dr.
talk,
Church
talk.
show. Talk show. Sorry, y'all. You know what? If you want to learn about the Mexicans and the Mormon and the cartels and Mitt Romney and how his father was one of them, look it up online instead. Don't listen to our show because we're going to talk about other stuff. So let's go back left and right, y'all. Nobody wants a topic that just stays straightforward. What are we talking about again? We're rapping who and what?
I don't know. You've got some gloves to sell, right?
I do.
Oh,
I got gloves to sell too.
are they?
No, it's
like
not me.
those really
We got Warp Zone Gaming is what's bringing you this craziness.
No.
I'm giving Warp Zone Gaming credit
Why
for
is he gonna
all of
do
this
that?
craziness of lefts and rights of the talk show. That is the Manny and Dr. Church show that starts a topic and never actually finishes it. So
That's
we
because
apologize
everybody
now.
they got to do their work too. Okay, they got the Google machines. They're gonna
Yeah.
be sitting on their phone anyways.
Yeah.
So do your own research.
Yeah.
We're just here
Yeah.
to what you say, the tickling of the ears thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leave it at that.
Yeah. So Warp Zone Gaming. Go to those Speakeasy Vape Lounge. There's a lot of video games back there. That is definitely what brings us a good time.
Joy.
It's definitely
Old school video
It is
games.
Warp Zone Gaming's fault.
Game room and back.
All of this, and it's awesome.
What kind of? You're looking at music.
I'm definitely looking at music.
What kind of music?
Let's go into. I got
You should see his
no.
eyes, Colorado Springs. He's just so focused on this profit. Like he really
Well, I gotta
wants to
make
play
sure I
some
don't
good
mess
music.
up.
He wants
If
to
I
play-
mess up, I get yelled at too.
You should
I gotta
also-
keep it real out here, people. I'm having a tough time.
Hey.
I'm having a tough time.
Are you saying that your job's difficult right now? But
Yes.
You're still going to show up and you're going to do your job?
Okay.
That's amazing.
We have a real talk show coming up next called The Daily Dose, right?
They show up.
I love them. You know why I love them? They're very structured. They're organized. They pick a topic. They stay on it. They talk through that topic all the way through until it's done. Then they move on to the next one. What's going on here sometimes is we'll start a topic, and then we go, oh! I'm going to Burger King and talking about onion rings now. What? How did we end up on onion rings at Burger King? We started talking about whatever it was. So that's why we're going into music, because I'm going to give the high sign. Manny's giving the high sign.
Colorado, it sounds like he's taking it personal.
Yeah, not personal.
What we're going to do is we're going to get into some music. Colorado Springs, keep it locked. This Blaze in 98.5.
This is Justin Boer, and you're listening to the Manny and DrChurch Show.
Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch Show.
Where it's all serious all the time and you get nothing but the facts. Because we get it from the internet.
Every time. Serious, focused every time.
I want to get back to this Bitcoin conversation because that's why I woke Blue up this morning.
Truth.
To have him come into the studio.
Absolutely.
So we're going to wrap up this show because we ain't got much time left, and we're going to get ready for the Daily Dose because they're ready, I'm sure. They're already drinking their coffee and waking and baking, I'm sure, whatever.
Focused.
Anywho.
So, the markets have been up and down, but over the last week or so, they've been relatively stable. Governments are still back and forthing it. India was 6 months ago was very heavy promoting cryptocurrencies, and now it looks like their central bank is starting to make regulations on how it's moved. While at the same time in India, government has been starting to do one of the things that it does good for the people. And they caught a guy who was the mastermind of a Ponzi scheme worth over $300 billion, and they caught him at the Delhi
That's a lot
airport.
of money.
Yeah. So at that point, and I don't know how India plans on working it, but America has been. They just started an auction for seized bitcoins that from drug operations and such, but to even
Really?
and they're selling them in packages by the
So
thousands.
instead of like an old police auction buying cars and boats and
It's a federal
house,
auction.
and they're selling Bitcoin from seized.
from seized goods. So but the thing
Is it cheaper?
I don't know.
You get it at a discount?
They're selling them by the thousands, like in packages like 10,000 or something like that. But to even get into the listings to place a bid, you had to put a $250,000 buy-in down.
Okay, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to be buying
above my pay
10,000
grade.
Bitcoin,
Yeah, I guess so.
they need something. And at that point, 10,000 Bitcoin at 68.95 would be
Enough.
Yeah,
I ain't doing math.
And if you're from India, that's like 8 bazillion rupees.
Yeah, that's
to where the Indian rupee right now is worth 0.015 American dollars or cents. So yeah,
How many
what?
rupees
0.015 cents. That's,
for 1 rupee?
That's how much 1 Indian rupee is worth. So if you want to be rich, y'all,
Comparative to
go
one
on to
penny.
India. Woo!
No,
I mean-
don't do that. Don't do that. I've seen a documentary from the old 70s. From the 70s, like the movement, where everybody was like, I'm going to go find enlightenment. And the hippie movement, and they just kind of wandered east. And some of them stayed.
I think I've heard about some
That's a
of that,
cool documentary.
actually. I think I might know the one you're talking about.
Check out the hippies that wandered and just never came back.
Yeah, and just kept going.
If you don't want to wander and not come back, if you want to
Wait.
come back, why you don't got to go all the way to India. I mean,
Why
if you're
not?
not
Be
looking for a
rich.
spiritual journey, you can go to Haiti and live like a king for a week, for a couple $100.
You're right. To where in India, the average income in India, the average salary in India was $616 annually per capita.
Jeez.
It says.
That's like
No.
$2 a day. That's
That
less
is.
than $2 a day. Well, I think
That's $616.
Yeah.
in South America, day workers are very common.
gross.
Essentially, you work day to day. You don't know if you're going to work the next day. The average person will only work 3 to 4 days a week, and they'll only make between $1 and $3 a day. And if you're making above $2 a day, you're really doing something.
Have you found any other businesses that have made the shift to using Bitcoin in their businesses here locally in Colorado Springs?
So
or just in Colorado in general, I guess.
Warp Zone Gaming does.
I'll take your Bitcoin.
I've gone to a few different crypto meetings in the area. Get on Google, get on Facebook. There's plenty of crypto research groups that are willing to inform, and social groups. But what the general consensus is the people who are accepting it normally do about a 5% increase for volatility until regulation comes out. And then the general consensus is once regulation comes out and it becomes more stable, you can go ahead and get rid of that volatility
5%, man. Maybe I'd go to 16%.
I mean, I personally do 10%, but that's only because I've done exchanges when I was at 19.
We ain't homies and I don't know you.
Yeah, I mean, I've used Bitcoin to buy marijuana here in the Springs. Shout
out King's Cannabis.
Shout out
right?
at King's Cannabis. Yeah, Angel down there, he accepted my Bitcoin. Yes, I bought it when it was double the price at least. I used some of it. But even that being said, was a waste of money because it will be eventually where she needs to be, further back up, if you will.
What do you got, Blue?
So one of the things is, we talk about cryptos here, but the technology that's based on is called blockchain technology.
Right.
And people need to understand the
Have
difference.
they dumbed that down at all? Have they been able to simplify what blockchain technology actually is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yes and no. They've made it easier for Joe Schmo to say, I want to start a cryptocurrency and just start one, but you have to have a basic understanding of computer science to kind of get the major gist of it. But one of the points I want to make is that
I'll dumb it down after.
the difference between tokens and coins are tokens are service-based. Industries and companies.
Is tokens what we're moving to?
No, I believe it's going to be both.
On those campsites
like
we are.
the
That was weird. Sorry.
the Fed coin, which is what America plans to have its cryptocurrency be, will be a coin. Whereas if your electric company wanted to have a coinage to move money interdepartment the same way you would just account-to-account money transfer, you would have tokens for that. Those are service-based ones. So that's inside of cryptocurrency. But inside of blockchain, what we're seeing a lot of being sold as ICOs, initial coin offerings, is you now have blockchain ideas to where people want to put your medical records into a blockchain, to where every single citizen has its own blockchain, to where you wouldn't have to worry about you showing up to a new doctor and him needing to know if you have high blood pressure.
Who generates this blockchain? Who generates this?
These are still in development, still being...
But are you saying it could be the hospital, like say...
Yeah, hospitals...
We have to explain this for people because everybody's listening to this lost, including you.
So it's...
A blockchain, let me speak. A blockchain is an open source ledger, okay? Basically means, so I have a book, right?
Digitally.
Right. It's on. It's where everyone that's involved in this ledger, that's open source, meaning everyone in the world can look at it. And everyone everyone in the world of its, or everyone in its community, let's say, of the blockchain, can verify that a transaction of some kind took place. So if they're going to put your medical records into a blockchain, it's basically saying that all of your records are in one local place where anything that goes down with it can be verified, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, I moved your medical records from A to B, and then everybody goes, oh, it was moved. They're talking about putting cannabis.
Would they know what those medical records, what's in them?
I would say no to where that's the idea.
They would just know that it went from point A to point B.
Exactly. And so it's kind of like Bitcoin. You don't know what the line of code of the Bitcoin is unless you're the person exchanging it back and forth kind of a thing.
Right.
And there's people that mine that verify that transaction took place. So a blockchain is basically an invention where it is just an open source ledger where, again, people used to have ledgers of handwriting,
right.
book and paper.
Digitally. This is on the computer. This is on the internet.
So just imagine if all of a sudden you had a book on a piece of paper and we're all in a room sitting together in a room and you say, I'm going to do a math problem on this room, but before this math problem's finished and I close this book and I send it for publishing, everyone in this room has to say, that is right and that happened.
Seen it.
And then you send it off for publishing. And that's like, let's say, kind of the layman's version of kind of explaining what blockchain is to where a lot of people don't even know what that is.
If I can make it simpler, just look up blockchain.
There you go.
Yeah.
Google it.
Just look it up. Hit the Bing machine.
Listen to the people that actually know all the way.
I don't know.
The real doctors.
So imagine, you have your medical records from your childhood doctor. You have your medical records from your modern doctor. You have your wife's medical records from when she was pregnant versus now 5 to 10 years later.
Right.
Imagine if you were allergic to bees, you got stung by a bee, you pass out in the middle of a park, but they can still get you into an ambulance.
All
if
this
you
info is just on a big old zip file.
It's on a on a keychain, the same way that we have our either a life alert or your what's the
he says life alert.
The red,
I ain't got one of
the
them.
little red tags or whatever.
It up.
And you would be able to essentially plug your thumb drive, the paramedic would be able to see, okay, not only is he allergic to bees, but he also has chronic heart disease, so we may not be able to give him solution A, we might have to give him backup solution B and monitor his water or something. I don't know, I'm no medic. But also now think of that instead of medical reasons, think of law. Think if you needed to get a file or your taxes from a certain year to prove that you have paid off your house.
I go to a filing cabinet.
Think of marijuana.
Yeah,
I go to my filing cabinet.
But it's essentially it's integration. Think how easier it would be to have everything at once in one place. So when you go to your accountant or when you go to do your taxes, you can just plug in.
Certain interfaces unlock certain features of your bank of information that's stored on this blockchain that's been produced.
Absolutely.
Maybe and someday your social security number. Like once you're born, now you've got a blockchain. All your info is going to be stored on this stuff. You go to the bank, you'll already have a bank account, or it transfers. You got a doctor, all that information transfers. I mean, you got a dog, you got to go to a vet. Maybe that stuff will transfer. Who knows how far this stuff will go, but it's possible, right?
Absolutely. So the whole point of this was it's not just coins and tokens that are being developed and sold right now. It is the initial investment phases for these medical blockchains, for these law blockchains, for these tax blockchains and stuff like that. So you're not just limited to money. You don't have to run the risk of investing in the pound or investing in the euro or investing in the dollar. You can invest in future technology as well.
And that's why I say to people when they go, Bitcoin's dead, I go, what's a blockchain? And no one can tell me what that is. I giggle at them and I go, when you know what a blockchain is, come back to me and we'll talk.
And then secondly, have them look up the obituary.
Right, how many times it died.
Yeah.
But marijuana and cannabis and blockchain is coming together. So hopefully the Daily Dose at some points will do some deeper research. But blockchain and marijuana to a genetic registry, I was reading a while ago, they had an article in Terpenes and Testing magazine. They had
Terpenes and what?
I ain't going down. I ain't getting no plugs. They ain't
Some
paying
magazine.
They ain't paying us. But it ends up where they're combining marijuana genetics and making a registry with blockchain where all these people coming out going, I have Blue Dream. According to Master Carl, shout out Master Carl, he tells me that Blue Dream is gone. The real Blue Dream cut, the original Blue Dream cut is gone. So everyone that's selling you Blue Dream is lying. There is no Blue Dream. It doesn't exist. It's a dream.
You hear that?
Yeah. So we're going to talk to Master Carl on this and see someday if how the deeper.
I need to know.
Deeperness on this someday.
I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
I wrote a report for one of my finals in English real quick, and it was about how essentially we're not registering strains as well as phenotypes. And since we're not doing it within 3 or 4 generations of the plant, you could sell Golden Goat to 6 different dispensaries across town, and they did. And within 3 to 4 generations, Golden Goat ceases to be the exact same weed. Within 10 to 20 generations, that's a completely different strain of marijuana.
Well, I don't know about enough on that. That is a beautiful thing, but I know blockchain with those things will supposedly help. They say, like, where if someone goes, yo, I did a DNA test, a genetic test on this plant, it says it is from the lineage of Maui and whatever, it's called Blue Dream, definitely, in the blockchain. A bunch of other growers then came in and said, we agree. Anyway, all of this craziness is brought to you, though, by Warp Zone Gaming, because it's the end of our show.
Chaos and mayhem. No guarantees, we just kind of show up.
Warp Zone Gaming is in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge.
Game room in back.
2508 East Bijou. You got video games. You got smoke your own weed. You got smoke CBD flower if you want to.
True story.
Manny's got every kind of old school video game just about that you'd want to play.
21 and up.
Every single one that you want to play.
Set your birthday.
That's all that matters. It's every single one you want to play. It doesn't matter if it's every single one. It's every one you want to play. It's there.
I definitely got a lot of games.
And if you don't want to, we'll encourage you that these are the ones you want. We'll
And
tell
then
you, we'll
we'll
steer you in the other direction because we got military guys all over that place. Because I appreciate the heck out of you guys as well. I keep going back to that. You, Manny, I'm a vet. Blue, you're a vet. You got Angus as a vet. You got Red as a vet. That whole place is filled with just top-notch gentlemen out there that I know of that served, and I'm sure plenty of
Vets
females in
helping
there as
vets,
well. It's a beautiful place to go hang out and meet a lot of awesome people. Stop on in. 25080s Bijou.
You might even be able to find a sample of some really nice gloves.
Some gloves from Lab Builder Supplies. Lab Builder Supplies, we've got affordable gloves for all you trimmers out there to wear. If you're looking for vinyl or nitrile gloves, we have vinyl too. If you need nitrile gloves, they have actual affordable gloves.
These aren't the kind of gloves where you put your hand in it and you're just like, yeah, and then it just rips through.
No, these are good ones. We got the good ones.
Colorado Springs, you hear that struggle? You ever struggle with those rubber gloves?
Gets weird.
It is.
Gets
weird.
You don't have that issue.
I've seen trimmers with problems.
Oh, trimmers. Some trimmers do have problems.
I've seen them not have extra large gloves, and they're pushing these guys in extra large or in large. And then I've seen mediums and no smalls, and they'll have smalls but no extra smalls. And you got people with different sizes.
So you got somebody trying to do some like a delicate art of trimming cannabis, and their gloves are too big. And
gloves are too big, or they're too small, or maybe they're not the right color.
This is an art, people. This is an art. We need to focus.
You want pink gloves? We got you. At Lab Builder Supplies, call them at 719-722-4181. They're open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. If you call them now, you're going to get a voicemail. That's the truth about it, because it is Saturday.
You might be able to find them on Pornhub.
I think they stream some really weird stuff on RedTube and no, they don't.
So I hear you can watch gun videos now on Pornhub.
Really?
Yeah, apparently YouTube, you're not allowed to do gun videos like tutorials or something. So I guess it's a thing on Pornhub now.
Good for them.
Yeah,
that's where they made it.
Pornhub's like, we're not gonna stop you.
We're gonna show everything.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Oh,
wow.
When
Look at the size of that gun.
When the Trump administration started trying to register tracking people on porn sites, Pornhub came up with algorithms to help scatter your IP address so they couldn't track what kind of porn you're into.
Yay,
oh, Lord.
Pornhub.
Well, you'll get nothing but these great tips from the Manny and DrChurch. The Manny and DrChurch show streaming now on YouPorn, Pornhub, and RedTube, and all the other adults.
No, they can find us at Blazing 98.5.
You're right, and this is Cardi B.
Or the app.
And Justin Bieber. No, sorry. Of course, I pointed
I'm
you.
way cuter than Justin Bieber.
At least I took on the Cardi B attitude, you know what I mean? I didn't make you the girl on that one. That was weird. Anyway.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and DrChurch show featuring Blue today.
Hey.
Giving us that Bitcoin knowledge.
Darkness will be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow, she's going to bring the light.
Oh, I love the darkness bringing that light.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those dudes in Carson that are freezing down there doing training right now.
Seriously.
Got my boy Hunter down there, been guarding ammo for 6 hours out in the cold right now. So keep it up, boys. Your country appreciates your work. Shout out to Wandering Boot Art. If you guys ever need any kind of custom pieces, look us up, Wandering Boot Art. Be happy to help create what you would like to see.
Agreed. And I appreciate your work. That's why I keep bringing up the idea of what's going down, where I'm like, not enough people talk about what our military families go through. And it's bothering me to where maybe
then maybe we'll sit down.
No one
and
has a platform. Like, I'm mad about it.
Because sometimes I get a little upset, and I don't like addressing it all the time, man.
I've seen too many families. People got to go here, they got to go there, and then for a year, and it's just like, for who decided to sell bombs to who to blow up what?
I don't know. Why have we been at war for 15 years?
Oh my gosh! Stop bringing up the number, man. You're making me mad.
Colorado Springs, keep it live. Get ready for the Daily Dose.
Wu-Tang, y'all, coming up.
It's blazing.
Peace.